Hypocrite Marjorie Taylor Greene mocked as she hails Supreme Court's Chevron and Fischer rulings. Washington, D.C. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, ARGA, took to X, formerly Twitter, to thank the U.S. Supreme Court for overturning a 40-year-old landmark Chevron decision and ruling in favor of January 6 defendant Joseph Fischer on Friday, June 28. The U.S. ruled in favor of former police officer Joseph Fischer, who was charged with obstructing an official proceeding over the effort to prevent Congress certification of President Joe Biden's election victory, according to NBC News. The court concluded that the law was only applicable to more limited circumstances involving forms of evidence tampering, not the much broader array of situations that prosecutors had claimed it covered. While the ruling has been celebrated by Donald Trump and his followers, it may not be of much help to the former president personally, as prosecutors believe that his conduct continues to be covered by the narrower interpretation of the statute. The Fischer ruling may affect around 247 of the more than 1,400 January 6 cases, with only 52 cases where it is the sole felony offense. The Supreme Court also overturned the 40-year-old landmark Chevron v. National Resources Defense Council decision on Friday, appending the authority of federal agencies to issue regulations without the approval of Congress, reported CBS News. The framework required courts to defer to an agency's interpretation of laws passed by Congress if it is reasonable. Chevron is overruled. Courts must exercise their independent judgment in deciding whether an agency has acted within its statutory authority, as the Administrative Procedure Act requires, wrote Chief Justice John Roberts in the ruling. On her Friday X, formerly Twitter, post, Greene wrote, "I'm thankful for the Supreme Court's rulings today on Chevron and Fischer." She added, "Fischer ruling will help hundreds of J6 defendants, including Press Trump, who have been or are being wrongfully prosecuted by Biden's politically weaponized DOJ. Sadly, it's too late for those who committed suicide, unable to bear the weight of our government's persecution." Chevron ruling will protect small start-ups from unelected bureaucrats at federal agencies from interpreting laws passed by elected representatives in Congress, elaborated the Congresswoman. Greene concluded, "The Supreme Court has made very important decisions, and I pray that continues in fairness and interpretation of our laws in order to protect our freedoms." Netizens were quick to slam Greene over her gleeful post, with many pointing out the fallacy behind her claim that the Fischer ruling would help hundreds of J6 defendants. One wrote, "It applies to 52 people, Marge, and it won't help Trump." And another said, "These criminals are accused of other crimes, so not much changes. Just look at all those poor, innocent J6 victims," mockingly wrote a person, attaching pictures from the Capitol Hill insurrection. "MTG is working on helping traitors again," fumed a netizen. One more stated, "It's as what y'all pay them for, after all," taking a swipe at the Trump-appointed conservative judges of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's rulings are merely a tool for Rep. Greene's political gamesmanship, cherry-picking victories while disregarding the court's decisions that don't align with her partisan agenda. Hypocrisy masquerading as principled leadership, noted a critic. One individual quipped, "We know what the Supreme Court looks like. No need to attach a picture." While another asked, "Marge, do you have any idea what Chevron decision means?"